In the 1970s, the market started to take off for 35mm single lens reflex cameras. I think the yen had fallen against the pound and these cameras were becoming more affordable. And in particular the Pentax Spotmatic, which then became the K1000, cameras such as these were popular. And in 1979, Yashica, who were a well-known camera manufacturer, had got a license from the German company Contact to make under license, and they produced some Contact cameras, but they also produced in their Yashica range of cameras the cameras with the same bayonet, the lens bayonet, that they were using on the more expensive Contact. So this is known as a Contact stroke Yashica bayonet. So it meant that the lenses on the slightly cheaper cameras could be used on the more expensive cameras, and some people used the more expensive lenses on these cameras. Now, this Yashica was actually made by Casina, and Casina were enormous camera manufacturers who made for several different people, their own brand, but they made for other brands as well. So what we have here is really a Casina with a Yashica label, but I think the Yashicas were slightly high quality. Now this is a FS3 Super. The FS3 was the first model, which I think came out in 1979. This came out in 1984, I believe. And the only real difference is that it's got this steady grip on the front here. The original SLRs in the 70s often had a meter. That was started actually in the 60s with things like the Nicomat and the Olympus OM1, where you have a lever in the edge of the screen and you get the needle in the middle. By the 70s, late 70s, we were getting a bit more sophisticated, and this needle had been replaced by LED lights. So on this camera, you set the shutter speed here and you adjust the aperture until you get a green light in the middle. You've got a red plus and a minus red, and you've got your correct green in the middle. So these are described as manual cameras, but they're manual cameras with a metering system. You have to set your film speed. The aperture is here. They do have a large range of lenses that were made by other companies, so this is a relatively cheap Nikon lens, Japanese lens, 3.5 zoom lens. The camera has a focal plane shutter with speeds from 1 second to 1,000th of a second. The model after this was the FS2000, and that has a speed up to 2,000ths of a second. You pop your film in, manually load it, take your film, and when you've finished, you simply wind the film back. One slight issue with these, I've always found this little plastic cap here for the batteries. These can sometimes break, and the covering has not lasted particularly well. Again, you can recover these cameras. So what is it like to use? Highly reliable, much depends on the lens. Retail value, they are still moderately low in price because they haven't quite got the cachet of the Pentaxes and some of the other manufacturers, and people are often put off by the covering. You can sometimes have slight issues with rind-on, but I find them on the whole to be a very pleasant, satisfactory camera, and especially if you are using our Contacts as well, then it's a useful backup because of the lens situation. So that is the Yashica FX3 Super.